So I thought I'd do another little practice log video for you. Last video I did the first 30 minutes of a new piece, which is Maureen's Waltz by Katrina Mackay. If you haven't seen that video yet, you can go up here. It's quite interesting to see me starting on a brand new piece. And I wanted to show you another little chunk. I've recorded every practice session I've done with this piece, and it's now 2 weeks later, so it's quite a lot of practice sessions and I can't show you everything, but I picked one where I thought it would be really useful for you to see, and you could see some interesting practice skills in this video. So after that first 30 minutes, I practiced again in the same day, and I just carried on working on section A, and I also started looking at the fingering of section B. And then the next day I practiced section A and B again, and then this second section on the second day of practice is what I'm going to show you in today's video. In that video, or in that practice session that you're about to see, I started working on section C. I looked at the fingering, and then I showed you how I loop sections when I'm practicing. I focused quite a bit on that, and it really is an effective way to practice. So you're going to see me doing that in action. I'm just having a look at my notes. And then I played through the whole of section A all the way up to section C. So A, B, and C, and I noticed some mistakes that started cropping up. That happens when you're looking at new things. The old sections start getting new mistakes, so that was interesting. And then I noticed that my brain was starting to get tired, and so I spoke about when do you stop practicing and kind of how do you deal with the feelings of new mistakes coming up that were so good just a few minutes ago. So I think you'll find it interesting to watch today's practice session. I hope you enjoy it, and let me know down in the comments if you're enjoying this kind of video. It's still very new to me, so I'd love to hear feedback of what you think. Okay, here's me on the second day of practice, the second session that day. Bye. It's the same day and I'm back for more practicing. I went and got some tea and had a cookie, and now I'm waiting for yesterday's video to upload, and I just feel like practicing, and I don't want you to miss out, so here I go again. My fourth finger there. So there's a few little rhythm problems, mostly just because I'm still not 100% confident with what's happening next, but I think I want to carry on and do more of the piece now, because yeah, I've done some good practicing of all of that section A and section B, and I want to explore section C before I completely perfect that. So I'm kind of figuring out what fingering will work. At first I wanted to do that and second finger on the C because it's a single C on its own, but then I realized that it's going to get really fast, so I want to actually be able to join that to the G that comes next so that I can quickly get to the next chord. So. feels so good. It's funny when you first kind of sight read it and you're not sure of the fingering yet. I'm just going to grab my pencil while I'm explaining. So when you first try it, it feels a bit awkward and you're not like quite there yet, but it feels really good when you start getting the fingering and it starts flowing. It's really beautifully composed. It feels so good. Okay. Oh, then it would be 4 because I think it does a repeat. But let me just do, so I guess if it's going to repeat on the second page, and then it changes. But let me make a little loop of measures 18, 19, 20, 21 and placing the 4th finger at the end of 21. So that's how I would set myself up to go to measure 22. But at this point, I'm just going to make a loop so I can get some good practice in. So this is a really good practice strategy to choose something you want to work on and make a loop out of it so that you don't have to stop in between and restart, and you just keep the rhythm going and you keep on practicing. But you've got to make sure that you are actually practicing the end of your loop and the beginning of the loop with the fingering that you would be using. So not all passages work perfectly well for a loop, but this one works really well. Supposed to be soft and doing the crescendo, so let's try that. Yeah, that's right. It feels so good. This part, like once you get into it, actually feels a lot easier than the other sections. Okay, let's go back and see if I can get to that section from the beginning of the piece. That's a new mistake. I just wanted to stop and mention, when I make a mistake once off, I don't really bother to go and replay that section and fix it. As long as I can keep going and when I play it again, it's fine. Then it's just a once-off slip-up. But what happened there is I made the same mistake I made that mistake both the first time and the second time. And then you really have to watch out because now you're on your way to making a habit of the wrong fingering. So that's when I stop and I need to check and do it the correct way many times so that I don't make a new habit of the wrong fingering. It's not automatic yet because I'm still making those brain pathways, so I'm not cross with myself for messing it up now when I had it so nice earlier. I just have to work on it again. That mistake again, almost. Was that right? Yeah. Fourth finger. Okay, let's look at what happens the rest of section C so I can finish off section C, and then that'll probably be enough practicing for this session. Oh. Looking at that fingering there, so dun, 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 and then I need to put a third finger on there instead of, so and then I would normally have put a second finger on there, but this time it goes 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to put my fourth finger on there so that I can do 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. I could have also done 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, but normally a seventh interval is a fourth finger, so and then I put my second finger under, so I just mark the fourth finger at the bottom, and then these obviously are next to each other, and then I just put the finger that crosses under, second finger, and then that needs to be a fourth finger on the G there. So that's kind of obvious. And then fourth finger, so that I can go back to the beginning. Let's see what the left hand's doing. So rhythms to what we were doing before. I'm going to make a loop out of this now. so let's do section C, the whole of section C. Then, although I didn't look at the second time bar. Oh, it's the same. Okay, that's fine. So the whole of section C. It's funny. The two parts of section C are kind of getting a bit confused for me. So the beginning of section C is becoming a little bit dodgy. So I'm just going to work on a loop through section C and see if I can straighten that all out. I'm not looking at the dynamics right now. I'm just doing it all the same. See, I really got into the zone there and was starting to really flow nicely. So now I'm going to go back and see if I can do A, B, and C together. Probably be a little bit tricky to, I'm sure I'll come up with new mistakes, but that's okay. I can always iron those out. So let's see how it goes. My brain is a bit like, whoa, I can't go back and remember these things when I've just been learning so many new things. So I'll keep going and see how it goes, but sometimes that's an indication that you need to take a break and come back later. But let me try one more time. practice for huge, long, extended periods of time in terms of like solid practice, really working hard, your brain can only concentrate for so long. But I think that went pretty well. I'm excited with how this is progressing. And what I really want to do right now is just take a listen back to Katrina playing it. And just to see, like, am I still on the right track in terms of the rhythm and all of these things? Sometimes you kind of find yourself misreading something and then you realize, like, oh, whoopsie, now I've practiced it seriously and I've really practiced it into my brain and it's not quite right. So it's useful to have a recording to look back on that, or to just then go back and play everything through slowly to check. But let's listen to the recording and then that might be enough for today. We'll see. It's just interesting, when I first listened to this piece, it just sounded like a whole lot of notes. Like, it's beautiful, but it was like, whoa, and it's so fast. And when I listened to it yesterday and I'd just been practicing it so slowly, this seemed like way out of reach at that point. And now after today's practice session, I feel like, oh, I can imagine myself playing it at that speed, and it all makes a lot more sense. It's interesting how your ear learns too. So one thing I am noticing is that there's a few places where she dampens the bass notes, and I'm not doing that yet. So there will come a point where I'm going to work on my articulation of the bass notes so that I get a bit more clarity. Right now I'm not doing anything of that sort. Let's go back a little. So there's some interesting articulation that she hasn't written in the music here. Like one of those, some of those half notes are actually dampened quite quickly and almost like staccatos. And in measure 10, she doesn't roll that chord. So that's interesting. I might do what's in the music, or I might do more similar to what she does in her recording. Section D sounds so cool. I'm excited to get to that point, but I'm not there yet, so I'm going to end it for now. But that was fun. It's coming along well, and I'm feeling excited. A little bit of a brain fry to practice in this way, like really thoroughly, but it's so satisfying. Really worth it. See you next time. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that practice log. So remember, you can look at the last time's video where I did the first 30 minutes of this and maybe compare how I progress. So you can have a look up there. And if you'd like to see this other video that YouTube thinks you'd like, look over here and subscribe so I can tell you about next time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the comments. Bye.